Hey there, friends and family, and welcome back to the channel. Today, it's Sunday Wrestling, I think episode 9. I don't know, you'll see it in the title of the video. But I'm doing a Royal Rumble prediction. This is mostly a prediction of who I think is going to be in the match, not necessarily, I'll include a winner pick, but I haven't really thought about that yet. I've just been thinking about the list of participants. So we're going to talk about the men's and women's Rumbles. We'll start with the women. For the women, I'm actually predicting the order that everybody will come out in addition to all 30 competitors. For the men, I didn't predict the order. I just predicted who would be in there, and then I kind of broke it out into categories, which you'll see in a little bit. But we're going to start with the women, and I think that they're going to open up the Rumble with Piper Niven coming out first and get her in the ring, let her have some crowd time, and then we're going to hear Liv Morgan's music and see her Tron, and she's going to come out to start the Royal Rumble with Piper Niven. And they'll have that 2 minutes or whatever it is before the next competitor comes out. And then at number 3, I think we get Becky Lynch nice and early. I don't know that she's going to win this year, but I think she gets plenty of time in the match with Piper and Liv. As a three-way before Raquel Rodriguez comes in. And she is able to do some big girl stuff with Piper. Eventually, I think they probably toss one or the other out before number 5 comes in, which I'm thinking is going to be Alba Fire. This could be any of the NXT call-ups or any of these tag team people. I think I just picked Alba Fire to come in here at number 5. Before or right after that, we get Candice LeRae. Again, this is just kind of filling out the Rumble, filling up the ring, and continuing on. After Candice, I think that we get Nia Jax. Again, whichever of Piper or Raquel is left, Nia gets to do some big girl stuff. She gets to toss around the smaller Candice and Liv and Becky. You have the face-off with Becky and Nia in the ring again, like we've had recently on TV. By the way, I'm recording this and posting it on Sunday the 21st, so this is a full week before the Rumble. There's still a full week of TV, so if one of these ladies gets hurt or somebody else announces that they're going to be in, obviously that'll change what this is. But this will include the people who have declared themselves for the Rumble so far, and the people that I'm adding. Anyways, so after Nia, we get Asuka at 8. And she'll come in. She won't do the mist yet. I think we do get a mist spot at some point during the Rumble, but not immediately. That might be part of the turn on Becky on Bayley that everybody's expecting. We'll have to see though. After Asuka, we get Maxine. Again, we're still just kind of filling up the ring. 1 or 2 people have probably been thrown out by now. I think we're down to 5 or 6 in the ring when Maxine comes out. And then she's immediately followed by Nikki Cross, who continues on with her, staring into space gimmick. Eventually finds a corner to just hang out in and chills there probably until somewhere around 2022 before she gets thrown out. But yeah, so Nikki at number 10 is what I think is going to happen. Then after Nikki, we get Chelsea Green. She's lost her face announcement from Samantha because they're playing heels now. But it's still going to be an opportunity to get Chelsea on TV, which WWE is a fan of right now, and I'm a fan of. Chelsea's done well. After Chelsea Green, we get Bayley. So she's going to team up with Asuka for a little while as part of Damage Control's control of the Rumble. This is when this really starts. And then after Bayley, we get this first, we had Liv at the beginning, but I think a lot of people are expecting her. Maybe a lot of people are expecting Naomi, but I think Naomi's going to be back in the Rumble. She comes in right after Bayley. Bayley is one of those performers that can really show off the facial expressions of surprise and stuff. And so she's going to be shocked to see Naomi show up. And right after Naomi, we get Natalya, the winningest female superstar of all time. Many would say also the most boring superstar, women's superstar of all time. But anyways, Natalya follows Naomi right before Tiffany Stratton comes in. And so this is our nice big NXT call up that, Michael Cole has to spend some time explaining, but we get some NXT blood featured in the Rumble. There's at least one more of those coming. After Tiffany, we get Bianca Belair, and between Tiffany and Bianca, they're able to just about clear the ring. I think after Bianca gets in, I think we get down to 4. I think it's Bianca, Tiffany, Bayley, and Asuka are the last 4 in the ring once Bianca gets in there. I think everybody else is out by then. And then out comes Kairi Sane, and it's 3-on-2 with Damage Control against Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair, who aren't necessarily teammates, but they realize what has to happen. I realize that my ink on the printer was running out, but hey, we do what we can when we got to record a video. So after Kairi, we get another surprise. We get Peyton Royce coming in after having a baby. She's making just a surprise appearance before we head to Australia for, what's that, Elimination Chamber, I think is what's going to be down there. And so we get to explain all that on TV, and it's going to be fun to see Peyton again. And she'll do 3 or 4, maybe 10 minutes in the Rumble, and then she'll head back out. After Peyton, we get Shayna Baszler. She's going to be a big reason that Peyton doesn't last very long in the Rumble, as she always does. She kind of wrecks house, but there's some other big characters in there by this point as well. So right after Shayna, we get Ivy Nile. So we get the brawler and then the muscle hamster, Ivy Nile. And the ring starts filling up again. After Ivy, we get Valhalla. She runs down, plays some of her gimmick. And then we get Tegan Nox. And after Tegan, we get Zoe Stark. And so Shayna and Zoe are able to team up and start to beat down on Damage Control and the others. And I think that this is about when we get the turn against Bayley from Damage Control. And so, maybe this is the Poison Mist spot or something like that. But I think Bayley gets turned on and doesn't get eliminated yet. I don't think she's going to win, by the way. She doesn't get eliminated yet, but it's this big thing right before Roxanne Perez is our next surprise entrance from NXT. So Roxanne comes down. She kind of, maybe she's even dressed as Bayley. She's done that before. And she kind of makes the save, evens things out. And I think we get down to just a couple of ladies in the ring again before we get Shotzi, who comes in and goes crazy like she does. And after Shotzi, we get Isla Dawn, followed by AJ Lee, who's the big surprise return that, more people are probably expecting now that CM Punk is back. But I think we do get AJ Lee in the Rumble, and we get her at 27, the most winning spot, just so that they can explain that. I don't think AJ is going to win either. I think that we get Xia Li after that because the crowd's still going to be buzzing after AJ Lee, but they still got to get somebody in every 2 minutes. And so Xia Li pulls that straw to be the next person in and not get a pop. And then we get Zelina Vega before we get Cora Jade at number 30. And that's the way that I think, the order that I think the women are going to come out. I think, I guess based off of this list, I would probably have to pick Bianca to win. I don't love that pick, but I don't think Bayley's going to win. She doesn't really have a reason to win the Rumble and go after a title after she gets turned on by Damage Control. There's too much story there. So they got to put the Rumble win on somebody else, and I think Bianca's a great choice to do that. And then we get Bianca and Rhea at WrestleMania. So that's what I think is going to happen with the women. I'm going to bring out my men's list. Like I say, it's not in order. It's separated by sections or groups of guys. And so you'll understand what I mean here. So I'm going to start off with just the fillers. These are the guys that are in the Rumble, but aren't going to have any like huge spots. They don't really stand a chance of winning. and they'll get announced but not really talked about a whole lot. So we start off with Akira Tozawa. We have a couple of Judgment Day guys, Dominic and JD McDonough. We have Gargano and Ciampa plus The Miz. Pete Dunne. I was actually, when I was planning this video, I was going to say that I think Pete Dunne gets his name back at the Rumble, but they already did that at Raw last week. So we get Pete Dunne, Cameron Grimes, Dragon Lee, Shinsuke, and Carmelo. Obviously, a ton of talent here on this list. I just don't think that this is their year to win the Rumble. And I don't think any of these guys are going to be planning any huge spots for the Rumble like some of these other guys will that I'm fixing to talk about. So then we have the high flyers and the spot guys. And so, like I say, most of these are high flyers, but you'll see what else I mean by that. And we get Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. I think we get a showdown of those two in the ring during the Rumble. And they eventually have their super kick party. They eventually do the Uso splash, maybe even on each other. But they really show out what Usos can do. Plus, we have Kofi Kingston. Of course, he's going to do something incredible like he always does in the Rumble. It hasn't quite worked out the last couple of years, whatever they've been planning. I think they get it done this time, and maybe this is Kofi's last Rumble. But he's got a spot planned, and it's going to be nice. Then we have Otis, obviously not a high flyer, although he flies more than most of the big guys. I think Otis falls into this group, though, of he's going to have some crazy spot. Maybe it's catching Ivar off the top rope again. Maybe it's catching both of the Usos. I don't know. He's going to have some big spot in the Rumble that's going to send the crowd crazy. Plus, we have Ricochet and Ashante the Adonis. I think Ashante makes it into the Rumble, and I think he does something crazy as part of his looking for a chance to succeed or whatever he said to the GM a couple weeks ago. And so I think between these six guys, I think it's going to be a fun Rumble in addition to the other groups that I have planned. But I think these are the guys that are going to make the headlines and have the big highlight reels from the Rumble. Next up, I have my list of potential winners for the Rumble, for the Men's Rumble. You probably know all of these names. Most of them have declared for the Rumble early. You can see CM Punk there. Cody Rhodes is also in here. I don't think either one of them are going to win, especially, again, I'm recording on Sunday, so we don't know the true nature of Seth's injury right now. I watched the match. I didn't see anything crazy, but knee injuries are kind of that way. Maybe he really does have a torn MCL or something, and he'll have to drop the title. And so if that's the case, I don't think either one of these guys wins the Rumble. But we'll see. Other potential winners, I see Drew McIntyre as a possibility, maybe even likely to win again this year, but he's not my pick. We have Solo Sikoa. I think this would be a crazy turn. After we also, we already have the Usos in the match. We get Solo in there. If Solo were to win, that really drives the narrative of the bloodline to another degree. After he's already been teased as the next tribal chief and taking over for Roman, and now he could actually, they could establish a storyline where he takes a title from someone. I think that could be really interesting to see. But he's not the only other potential winner. We still have Bobby Lashley in the match. He declared he is still Bobby Lashley. And he could always win. They could always go that direction and then bring the Street Profits with him, get them the tag titles, maybe even split the tag titles again. And you could have a dominant faction there. But I think my pick to win this year is going to be Gunther, especially in light of Seth's apparent injury. I think that it makes sense to put the Rumble win on Gunther, have some sort of tournament, or maybe even just vacate the title until WrestleMania, and then do Gunther versus Rhodes or Gunther versus Punk at WrestleMania for the title. I don't know exactly how they would do that, but I think Gunther's going to win this year. He's impressed a lot of people, and he's done very well as the Intercontinental Champion. I think that he's ready to take on a Rumble win. Two more sections here to go to close out the video. I was trying to come up with a way to describe this, and I kept thinking of Corey Graves' voice in my head saying, they're never going to get him over the top rope. And so these are the big guys that, they have to have these guys in the match because it's the Rumble. And they do it with the girls too. That's why Nia Jax always has a spot in the Rumble and stuff like that. But so these are the big guys, the super heavyweights. Omos, I think, makes his return, I guess, technically. And he's in the Rumble, and they have to say that line because he's a giant. But I think Ivar also falls into that category. I could have put him up there with Otis and the Spot Guys category, but I chose to put him here as just another big guy that they're going to struggle to get over the top rope, as well as Bronson Reed, big Bronson Reed, as they like to say. So I think that those are the three guys that they're going to hype up as the big guys that no one else is going to be able to take out, and they end up taking each other out or something like that. And then our final category is something that I can see Michael Cole saying as the music hits. It's the what category. So these are the guys that no one is expecting, quote unquote, no one is expecting to be in the Rumble. But we're going to get at least one of these guys, I think, and maybe all of them. We hear the music, and all of a sudden all you hear is Michael Cole say, "What? He's here?" So this is that category. This is the last three guys, or four guys, I think, are in this list, that are going to be in the Rumble this year. We start off with Braun Strowman's return. I think Braun is going to be back. He may not spend very long. I think he's still recovering technically, but I think he's going to be back for just the Rumble. And so I think we get Braun. Obviously, he could have been in the never getting him over the top rope list, but he's a return. So I'll put him in the what category. Next up, we have Sammy. He's taking some time off of TV. I think he gets back for the Rumble, and it's a surprise return. Sami Zayn. Plus, we have Sheamus returning. People have thought that he was going to be on TV for the last couple of weeks with the Butch Pete Dunne storyline. He hasn't been there. I think he gets back at the Rumble. And finally, maybe this is a fantasy pick. Maybe it's not. Maybe there's something to it. But at least I'm hoping that we at least get one more match from Big E, and I hope it's the Rumble this year in 2024. So that's my list of the men's competitors, from fillers all the way down to surprise entrants and potential winners. That's who I think is going to be in the Rumble this year. Let me know in the comments what you think of my lists, and I will be watching along with you next weekend, and I'll have a video next Sunday again for Sunday Wrestling Series. Thank you for taking the time to check this one out. I know it's a little bit longer video, but thanks for sticking with me. Leave a like and drop a comment. I'll see you next time.